Boom.
I don't think it's very likely, but wouldn't it be great if Shaq Barrett was the Von Miller to Mahomes' Cam Newton? Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, and then so then
Yeah.
there's Jerry's question. Jerry's like, so does losing the Super Bowl mentally affect the Chiefs? Will they do better or backslide some? Honestly, I think a lot of this Super Bowl loss had to do with like the same reason that the Packers lost is because the Chiefs got greedy and drafted a running back in the first round instead of going after a defensive tackle or a corner or a linebacker or somebody to help them on defense, which is the same problem that the Packers had. They decided to go with a backup quarterback that's going to play 4 years from now instead of drafting someone to help out on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that statement. And pretty soon, Kansas City's they're gonna feel the strain of the salary cap. It won't be this coming season because they've made a lot of moves where, with $100 they can retain 90% of their staff. But going forward in the future, they obviously know that in order to keep Mahomes as their golden goose, they're going to have to protect him. So it'll be interesting to see if their original, who was it? Their left, I don't know if it was their guard or their tackle that left originally to stay to fight. Yeah, the guard Tardif. If he comes back, it'll be interesting to see any of their injured tackles or guards.
Shorts.
Their shorts, they'll be back. If Kansas City can do anything in free agency, but obviously the concern for them is there. And also, let me just add that because of and we may have talked about this before, but Andy Reid's head was not 100% in that game. So yeah. I'd like to think that most of the calls that we saw were mostly Eric Bieniemy coming from. The only Andy Reid thing that we saw him do was when he called the timeout before halftime, literally giving the Bucks a breather and a chance to score instead of just simply running down the clock.
Did you hear his answer in presser when they asked if they surprised him? They're like, "Did you expect that?" He's like, "No, I didn't. We didn't see that coming. We didn't see this."
we don't know anything about. We know nothing about ill-timed timeouts.
Yeah, obviously they didn't.
About that.
Obviously, they didn't see our last game against the Raiders where Vic Fangio. It was like copy and paste, damn near.
I don't really know if losing the Super Bowl is going to affect the Chiefs mentally or not. I mean, the Chiefs aren't really a team that was built for one Super Bowl run and then a collapse. Kind of like the Super Bowl 50 Broncos. Like once we won that Super Bowl, then everything just kind of went because defensive players left, Peyton Manning left. But with the Chiefs, like as far as we can tell, most of their rosters coming back. At least the core guys are. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily know if it'll affect them mentally.
And they're drafting well too.
Yeah, I think
another thing means that's good.
Well, yeah, I think now it's just going to be more of a concentration on what went wrong. So they're going to be concentrating more on the defensive side of the ball to keep them in games than worry about being able to throw the ball everywhere. Because offensive wise, I think they're pretty set.
But they do have a lot of money tied up with these existing players, so who knows what kind of impact they can have in free agency to fill those.
They have a really good young defense though now. I mean, Matthew's taking up a lot of it. Chris Jones is taking up quite a bit, but they still have Snead that's looking good. Thornhill,
Sorensen,
Gay Jr. Like Sorensen's got free agent this year. And he's like 31, I think. But they're a little overrated, I think. I think it's been very situational, but they still have good. It's solid. It's still decently solid. And with that offense, you never. Chiefs, yeah.
The Chiefs? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs were as good this year as they were last year. I mean, they looked good. They looked better this year, but you could see that they would kind of crumple in close games.
Well, they only had one legit loss, and that was to the Raiders. The one to the Chargers, nobody really counts because the Chargers first stringers played.
What is a legit loss? Backup. Like that's like a loss is a loss. Like what is a legit loss?
A legit loss meaning like it would affect playoff. Now you
sound like those Chiefs fans, like the refs won the game.
Well, no, I'm
15-1.
No, they lost the last week 17 against the Chargers, so they're 14 and 2. but they already had the number 1 seed. There was really no need for them to start their starters. But basically, the season that the Chiefs had, aside from that one loss and the fact that they kept winning, eventually you're going to lose. And when you do lose, you can't choose when you're going to lose. So it's unfortunately it came at their expense at being the big one, the big game.
Chris Hernandez, I was surprised the Chiefs offense didn't adjust to the Bucs defense after the half. No help to the tackles. I mean, is there a way that they could have adjusted to help the tackles? I mean, we kind of saw like with Shermer and Denver how they would move the guards to be able to help with the running game. I mean, I know that they tried different aspects on offense to try to help, but I mean, screens are okay every now and again, but screens aren't really that effective if you run them too much. So I mean, is there anything that they could have done? I don't think my personal opinion, I don't think there was anything that Chiefs could have done to stop the Bucs defense. I don't.
The way Mahomes was running around, I'm picturing like the play call was like one of those like spirographs, just
didn't they say that like Mahomes had like 400 something yards,
500 yards on the ground,
before, like just scrambling before he threw the ball.
Yep. Just scrambling, and most of those, he wasn't even pressured in the pocket yet. It was just him trying to find room to make a play, trying to get Tyreek open or Travis Kelce open, but they were so well covered that it just didn't happen. And unfortunately for the Chiefs, while they are going to keep the majority of their offensive players next year, and it all depends on what they do in the draft, I don't think they'll do anything in free agency because, like Marcus said, a lot of their money's tied up into their contract. So unless they can trade for players or what have you, but their offensive line is really going to be just determine how next season for them is going to be. And the Broncos should take advantage of that just in case the Chiefs aren't able to reinforce their offensive line. And, hopefully we get all our guys back and, we can give the Chiefs hell and finally end this loss drought against them. Jason
O'Neill, new to this pod. How's Broncos country tonight? What's up, Jason? Welcome in.
Hey.
We're pretty good. I bought a slushie before I came in, and now it's all sank to the bottom, so I got to dig through ice. But other than that, we're good.
They have 7-Elevens in Nebraska?
No, Casey's.
Oh.
We are not sponsored by them. But if they want to give us money, we'll take it.
6.5, 10.5.
I've never heard of it.